I I had no other options but the Marines when I was coming out of high school. That was my options. That or keep selling drugs and gangbanging, which I was on my way to be dead or in jail. Honestly, I got the wounds to prove it. So it was an easy choice, but I knew I was always destined for something greater. But man, that was I just never thought it would be in the financial services industry, really helping families understand how to make their money more productive for them.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some walk beside us. We are stronger than our scars. We are brighter than the dark. Every battle leaves a spark. Every story makes a mark. Come along with Uncle Greg. Enter the Storyverse.
Today we're going to meet a father, a husband, friend, veteran, and licensed financial professional, Paul Gooden. Who's your favorite superhero? And
Man.
what does that say about you?
Dude, I'm gonna go OG. It's a hard one, right? Because the anime superheroes, like this was difficult to pick a favorite. But if I had to pick a favorite, hands down, it's Spawn.
Spawn.
Probably
Okay.
haven't heard that one in a while, huh?
Okay. I'm like, do some of these kids even know who
No
the Spawn is?
Google it, right? Spawn's legit, right? He was a soldier, and then fighting for his country, became a kind of a private contractor, if you will, and got betrayed, right? Family got murdered, he got killed. He kind of made a dark deal to come back and kind of take care of the bad guys who wronged him, and then kind of start taking care of those. Kind of broke that curse of that contract, if you will, and just became kind of an anti-hero, if you will, right? And it's unpopular opinion. I thought about this hard. I said, okay, superhero, but if I really wanted to play devil's advocate, right? Eric Killmonger would be like my favorite
Y'all sitting up here comfortable.
because I don't think he's a villain.
I had the courage to do what was necessary to change Wakanda. How many people like your scientists did Wakanda protect before I took the throne? Cowards. That was the Panthers that came before me.
That's another long conversation for another day, right?
I mean, he was trying to uplift his people.
Right.
He just had an unconventional way about doing it.
Him and T'Challa were on the same path. They had different visions of how to do it.
T'Challa was too noble. He let the man who murdered your father live. And here you stand. Are you gonna be noble like your brother? Or take care of business? Like me.
And so, I think that's why he's one of Marvel's greatest, quote unquote, villains, because he's so empathetic. You have so much, you understand. You're like, man, but is he really a villain? It makes you think. Yeah, it's wild.
Well, what do you think that says about you? That like your person is like these anti-villains, the Killmonger, the Spawn.
I think it says about me that life is not black and white; it's gray, and most of us live in the gray. We're not perfect, right? Human beings are fallible. So the reality is sometimes you're gonna make choices that aren't the best in other people's eyes, but your intentions might be good. But you also, those decisions aren't the sum of who you are, right? And so I think for me, family is important, right? I've done some scrupulous things in my past to be able to eat and have hot water, but I've never had malice in my heart when I made those decisions. Was never trying to set out to hurt somebody.
I was just saying something to my wife the other day that I would never want to be judged or have the sum of my character judged based off of one thing that happened in my 20s.
Because we're all screwed. For those of you who haven't gotten to your 20s yet, you'll get it one day.
But it's the truth. No, I think person is the sum total of one action.
Right. Because again, we have to be given room to be able to grow and evolve. And if we're just judged off of that one thing, then the whole world is just a mess.
We have to be given room to grow and evolve.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about your origin story.
Let's talk about it, man.
So you said growing up,
Yeah.
you grew up in Georgia.
Yeah. Southwest Georgia, like deep South.
Deep South.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said that if you continued on that path that you were on growing up, you would either be dead or in jail.
Yeah. 100%.
Tell me about that a little bit.
I didn't grow up with a lot. I grew up with great parents. They divorced when I was 2 or 3, right? But they had a great co-parenting relationship. They didn't badmouth each other. They just weren't a fit for whatever their reasons are, right? Which was none of my business. So my dad let me make my own opinions about my mom based on how she treated me and vice versa, which is probably the best thing they could have done for me, right? And so, but I watched them work and grind and struggle and do everything they were supposed to do. They paid their taxes. They went to church, right? They didn't treat people wrong. They treated people with the golden rule. Treat everyone as you wanted to be treated, right? And they just couldn't get ahead. And so I grew up sometimes the lights might be on, sometimes they might be off. Sometimes the water might be hot, sometimes it might not be. Sometimes the only food that I would eat would be at school, breakfast and lunch, right? But they were working really hard and just doing everything the right way. And it always just didn't sit well with me. I knew something was missing. And also my mom needed help, right? She's working 3 jobs, barely making ends meet, which is insane, right? And this is back in the 80s and 90s. Date myself, right? It's back in the 80s and 90s, right?
Yeah. That's all right. We love the 80s and 90s. We
Right?
about it.
My daughter always says, Dad, you were born in the 1900s. I'm like, well, technically, don't make it sound so bad. But yes, I've been working since I was 14, doing little cutting grass, doing landscaping. But when I was about 15, 16, I kind of went out on my own. And it was wild. In addition to working, like legitimate 9-to-5s, there was a really big street culture and kind of gang life where I'm from. I had no other options but the Marines when I was coming out of high school. That was my options. That or keep selling drugs and gangbanging, which I was on my way to be dead or in jail. Honestly, I got the wounds to prove it. So it was an easy choice, but I knew I was always destined for something greater. But man, that was I just never thought it would be in the financial services industry, really helping families understand how to make their money more productive for them.
Paul, tell me what it is that you do. I don't actually know what you do. I know, but I don't know.
To put it in simplest terms, I'm a financial professional. So I work in the financial services industry. So I help people increase their net worth and accumulate wealth. That could be things like tax advantage wealth accumulation strategies, because this is not financial advice to the FCC, right? Some license. I can't give specific advice without meeting with people, but I structure things that help you maximize your tax advantages, to protect current assets that you already have, help people plans for their children's college, get out of debt, estate planning, kind of a little bit of everything.
So what does that look like when you have no money? How do you plan for someone that got no money?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the first thing you want to do is have a conversation, because what I found for doing this for almost 10 years is that we usually have more money than we think. We just prioritize it in different ways. So that's why I come in. I start with financial education, literacy, things I call the 3 rules of money, like the rule of 72 and how money grows, and tax implications on where you put, save, or invest your money. So I start with that, build a relationship with my clients, and then we can talk specifics like their income, how much they save or don't save, right? What do they spend on their bills? I take a holistic approach.
Because honestly, even right now, when you're talking, it almost sounds like a foreign language.
To most people it is. And it was a foreign language to me until about 10 years ago. when I was kind of going to business school and I was working in a warehouse 10 hours a day, right? I was driving an hour to San Marcos to go to Cal State University and driving back an hour through traffic.
Wow.
So it was pretty intense time, but I wanted to learn more about money because I spent 8 years in the Marines prior to that. And when I got out, it was a real rude awakening. It was a huge wake-up call on how much I didn't know.
So you said you got into this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And what sparked? Just one day you woke up and said, I want to be a financial advisor. I want to be a financial planner.
I was having a conversation one day at the gas station with my broker partner, and I just had the worst day at work. I had my 1.5-year-old daughter in the back seat. I had my eldest son at the time. He was about 15 in the front seat, and I was just frustrated. I kind of looked up to the heavens, prayed to the universe, and was like, look, I need a shot. Whatever that is, if it's legal, moral, and ethical, right? I need a shot, and I promise I will give my all because my family deserves more, my kids deserve more, and I'm just not happy. And I was having this conversation with this lady, and she just seemed happy. It was in the middle of the afternoon. She was driving a really nice Mercedes, and we got it talking back and forth. And I kind of asked her what she did, and she told me. And she said they were looking for good people, who really wanted to help people, but also earn a great income for themselves. And I'm like, I just asked for this. So
I love that you are helping everyday families.
Yeah.
And the two things that don't seem to go together, I want to do finances and help people.
right? Because again, movies have been programming us, bad experiences, agents and brokers who don't do the right thing, who don't have integrity, they put bad taste in people's mouths, and that gets passed along through the family, which can be a detriment because here's the reality. If we don't know the rules of the game, we're not even on the court, we're not playing. We're getting taken for a ride. That's most Americans and most people in the world.
What skills are most important in your field?
Communication and compassion. Because I'm in the people business. I'm talking to people about the most taboo thing they've been taught their entire life. Don't talk to people about money. Think about it. They let 17-year-old and 18-year-old kids go to college and take out debt, credit cards, on campus, little canopies, handing out applications, right? That's insane. Nobody's ever taught to them about money because their parents haven't been taught to them about money and debt and how to play the game. And so this cycle continues. So being a great communicator and being relatable to people is important. It breaks down the walls and allows them to be able to receive the information that you have for them that's valuable. And then also, people skills. You want to communicate with them and be good with people. Put people first. Those are probably the two most important. So you want to look at it with actual buzzwords, compassion, and communication.
So how do you practice kindness and compassion early? How do you start that?
It's the little things. It's always the little things, right? So even as a kid, right? Middle school, high school, even elementary school, be kind to people, right? Be kind to them. Don't bully kids because they might look different, or they may not have the name brands, or maybe they may, have different beliefs. Be kind. Stand up for them. That was me, right? So obviously, I'm a chocolate melanated brother. I grew up in the hood in the South. There's one kid. It's weird because I remember his name and I remember my elementary school's teacher name, even though I can barely remember their faces. The names are set into my memory. Her name was Mrs. McDonald. I remember she was blonde hair, blue-eyed, nice curvy lady. I had a crush on her. I was 5. Right? But this kid, his name was Mark Brienza. And Mark, if you're seeing this, hope you're doing well, brother. Mark Brienza. But he was like the only little white kid in this class of like hood black kids. And they were picking on him. And I stood up for him, right, willing to fight for him. I'm like, look, man, this kid didn't do anything for you. I'm gonna make him my friend. If you mess with him, it's time to knuckle up. I just always been in me because my mom has been compassionate, my dad's been compassionate, my family is compassionate. It's taught early, and it's caught when it's time to be executed. So be kind early, right? And that just leads to you being a compassionate, a kind person when you're an adult.
That really does open the door to opportunity.
Absolutely.
I mean, you shouldn't be kind and compassionate to get opportunity.
Right.
But I do know that in the world that we live in today, so many times people are thinking about, and even kids are thinking about, how do I get ahead and what's in it for me?
Yeah.
But really, opportunity presents itself when you are authentically good to other people.
Because think about it like this, right, Greg? If it costs me nothing to be kind, I might make someone's day. They could be having the worst day, and it costs me nothing to be kind, to smile, to say hi, to offer to help an older person with groceries, or even a younger person if they need help with something. Just the other day, I was at Albertsons at the grocery store, and this lady, I could tell she was struggling to get something off the top. I'm like, little smile. Hey, ma'am, how are you? Do you mind if I give you a little hand? Can we get that for you? She's like, oh my God, you're so sweet, right? And I give it to her. I'm like, hey, I'm going to take off, but do you need anything else? And so it probably made her day, right? Little things like that. Cost me nothing to be kind. 17, 18-year-olds in this generation, I don't envy them. It's a lot going on, right? And I think this generation is probably the most empathetic than especially our generation. They understand community, they understand being compassionate and being responsive to others, but at the same time, on the flip side of that coin, because of just the electronification of everything, not even a word, but I'm making it a word.
I love it. Electronification,
right? They're so inept in some ways of having conversations with others in person and networking and building those relationships without having it be online first. And so they have the most information and some of the best characteristics and attributes, but at the same time, they have challenges of, just human interaction. And we live in a world of people. And I think they can learn through it, and we see that, right? They can learn through it and push through it. But taking that action, it takes more than one person sometimes. Sometimes it takes a village.
How can they learn those skills of talking to people, of interacting in a way that's going to benefit them in business, in their family, in all of their interpersonal communications with others?
Great question, man. I love that question. There's a book. The author escapes my mind right now, but it's the name of it is How to Make Friends in 90 Seconds or Less.
I like that. Right? I haven't heard of this book.
Right? How to Make Friends in 90 Seconds or Less. Or it's How to Make People Like Me in 90 Seconds or Less. It's one of those. I haven't read it in about 8 years. Okay. But that's one of the things I had to read because coming out of the Marines, being very, very secluded, dealing with PTSD, nobody understands me. I'm in a new state, right? A new city. Don't have any family or friends out here. I had to learn to re-engage with people again. And that's one of the books that I read. And it allowed me to allow my natural attributes that I had, forever to kind of resurface and then turn that into people wanting to be friends and then building from that. It's a great book.
What opportunities should people look for that are often overlooked?
Sometimes it might be something that, and it's not just even my industry specifically, it might be something that just seems not on your path, right? Or outside of your wheelhouse, or maybe you're not studying for that in school. And those are the things you should give it a shot. Because the worst thing that can happen is you could probably learn something about a subject you didn't know or learn a new skill. And if it's not a fit, no big deal. You just gain life experience to put something in your toolbox for later. We have a running joke in my house. My daughter's like, Daddy, what haven't you done? Literally. She's like, what haven't you done? I'm like, sweetheart, there's a few things that I haven't done. But since the time of being 14 up until now, when I have an opportunity to do something that was maybe out of my warehouse or new, I just tried it. And I got a lot of skills now. So,
try new things.
100%. Short version, try new things. The way that we do things in our firm is I can take somebody off the street who has a PhD, who's poor, hungry, and determined, right? Have a little discipline. I can show them how to go from A to Z with absolutely no background, with minimal investment into yourself. A few $100 versus a few thousand in connections.
A PhD.
poor, hungry, and determined.
Yo,
Like that.
but that's like a PhD in life.
Exactly, my man. You hit the nail on the head. That's what it's about. That's what I had, a PhD. I was poor, I was hungry as hell, and definitely determined to do something better.
You know, and I think that people don't always value that. Because oftentimes it's those letters behind the name that people value.
Absolutely.
Was there ever a moment that you considered giving up?
Absolutely. Anybody who's an entrepreneur and say they never thought about quitting, they are a liar or they're not a real entrepreneur. There are some days, man, you're just like, I don't know if this is really what I need to be doing. Or you have some setback that's like, oh my God, this sucks, right? But setbacks are made for comebacks. And so there's definitely been a time or two that I was like, maybe I should just go back to being a firefighter. Maybe I could kind of do something in my skill set. I can shoot guns, and I was a machine gun in the Marine Corps as well as a firefighter. So I got skills. But like, yeah, I've thought about it, but wouldn't do it. It wouldn't make sense.
What helped you keep going?
Knowing that I was in control of my own story. Like, I was the author of my story, and if I quit, I let my family down, and there's tons of people who I haven't even met yet who need me, and I'll be letting them down. Everything's temporary. Pain, frustration, that's all temporary. Life is about challenges and, getting up when you get knocked down. And so if you have a setback, that means you're on the right path. Because if you don't, you're probably stuck in your comfort zone, and everything that you love or you want dies in the comfort zone. Everything that you want is right outside of that little comfort zone, 100%. So if you have a setback, that means you're trying, you're working on it. Maybe that idea or that strategy didn't work. You pivot, you don't panic, and you keep moving forward.
Man, we got all the lessons. We got the doesn't cost to be kind. We got the setback is a comeback. Man, we got all the gems right now. If someone listening today could take away one lesson from your story, what would you want it to be?
Don't quit. Never quit. If you have a goal in mind, if it's something you want to do, don't quit. No matter how crazy the adversity gets, it's meant to mold you into the person that you need to become to achieve that goal. The person you are now is not going to be the person you are when you achieve that ultimate goal for yourself. You have to grow. You have to stretch. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. But don't quit. Whatever it is you want to do, you get in, you get good, and never quit. Period.
All right, Paul. Thank you so much for being here today. We've learned so many lessons from you. We've learned not to quit. We've learned to believe in ourselves. We've learned to try new things. But we wouldn't have learned that if you didn't let us step into your story. So this is the Storyverse. Thank you for letting us step into your story.
Enter the Storyverse.